Let us get to the tail of the tape for this heavyweight opener. It's brought to you by Modelo, brewed for those with a fighting spirit. Hardy 31 to Castro 33. Hardy the taller man by 5 inches. Hardy came in just half pound below the 266-pound limit. He will have a 6.5-inch reach advantage. All right, now to get this main card started proper, here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from the VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena in Jacksonville, Florida for UFC 249, Ferguson versus Gaethje, presented by Devour Foods, the official frozen meal of the UFC. Never just eat, devour! And now, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, an undefeated mixed martial artist holding a perfect professional record. 6 wins, no losses. He stands 6 feet tall, weighing in at 262 pounds. Fighting out of Fall River, Massachusetts, Yorgan, the Mad Titan Castro! And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a striker holding a professional record, 5 wins, 2 losses, 1 no contest. He stands 6 feet 5 inches tall, weighing in at 265.5 pounds. Fighting out of Coconut Creek, Florida, Greg Prince of War Hardy! And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Herb Dean.
Bruce Buffer's not handing out fist bumps tonight, gentlemen.
Nah,
if you don't like the elbow,
elbows.
I don't know what to tell you.
Everyone's been tested. Give him a fist bump, bro.
Thank you,
I'll
Brittany.
put some gloves on Brucey.
All right, here we go with the heavyweights. Greg Hardy, minus 210 betting favorite against Yorgan de Castro. Tonight's fight clock brought to you by Modelo, brewed for those with a fighting spirit. And early right hand lands for de Castro.
Look at the size difference.
Oh,
boy.
Boy, you do not want to go in there with the Castro. That dude throws bombs.
And so does Hardy. Both guys are throwing everything. Oh, my goodness. Hardy's got to be real careful with that counter right hand.
Yep.
When he throws that low kick, he left himself. Oh, nice low kick by de Castro.
And not now, right? And not now. Hardy needs to worry if he starts to get a little fatigued and starts to make little small mistakes. De Castro, with the experience and throwing in the way that he throws, can be very dangerous.
Oh, barely missed with that left hook.
Hardy's such a great athlete, right, that he can evade a lot of those strikes. You know, he just moves and slides a little bit out of position.
Ooh.
Oh, he got stung with that left hook on the temple.
We talk about Hardy's ability to cover distance and get inside. De Castro moves quick on those feet.
High guard, Yorgan, high guard.
De Castro is a great athlete.
High guard.
You can't judge guys by the way that they look. This guy is a fantastic athlete. He's very fast, has a lot of power, and he's ready to fight.
He's got enormous legs. Look at the size of his thighs.
Yeah.
And those leg kicks.
High guard.
Big old
High
thick
guard and
boy.
breathe. High guard and breathe. No.
Yeah. Hardy's got to be. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Nemiroff, bold character since 1872. Good.
Hardy's got to be careful in between the exchanges because he has these little openings that he leaves that he probably isn't even aware of that Yorgan de Castro is going to capitalize on.
But how does Yorgan carry that energy late into the fight when he's throwing everything with 100% power every time?
High guard and breathe.
Beautiful low kick by de Castro.
High guard and breathe. Oh, no, right out.
Hardy goes high. De Castro defensively sound.
And then
Greg is so much bigger. You look at the size difference.
De Castro's making Hardy pay every time he comes in range.
It's interesting. When Greg Hardy played in the NFL, some seasons he would be 265, others 315 because he was never the money guy on the D-line.
Beautiful low kick by Hardy right there. A lot of power to that, but you got to be real careful those hands coming at him afterwards.
Hardy hasn't checked the kick yet. If I was De Castro, I'd still be chopping at that outside leg.
It's crazy how well you hear the breathing.
And with the heavyweight fights, we're going to hear the breathing a lot heavier than we did earlier tonight. The big boys take more oxygen.
A lot more real estate.
And it happens faster, too.
Oh, De Castro stung him with that right hand. Oh,
like that. Look at that. See that?
That's
Hardy has not.
devastating.
Yep. Look at the redness behind the leg, and Hardy has not checked one kick yet. If you're the Castro, you keep chopping wood.
And the technique that the Castro's throwing that with is just picture perfect.
Boston, shoot. Yep.
There's another one for good measure. De Castro does have light heavyweight experience. I think a lot of people look at his frame and think if he could get down to 205, he'd be a huge problem.
Oh, he could definitely get down to 205.
It's so hard, though. I'm telling you, man, it is so hard. Right now, me and Yorgan look pretty much the same. Getting to 205 is so tough. I feel the big man's plight. Stay up at heavyweight. It's fun up there.
It's there, my friend.
2 left leg, 2-1-1.
Be patient. Shoot.
Another one. Oh, boy.
On him.
Oh, and now Hardy hurt De Castro.
Hardy stung him.
Reset. 2 body kicks.
Oh,
nice.
nice front kick by Hardy.
Nice
Good
movement
job.
by Greg Hardy.
Get out of there.
Look, Hardy is making adjustments.
Take that off.
That's the thing about Hardy. You can't ever discount a guy who's that level of an
High
athlete.
guard for the team of
The back of his leg is beat up bad, man.
That
Look
left
at
leg
this.
is
Yeah,
nasty.
his left leg is beat up.
And it's stiff, too. See how he keeps locking it out?
Remember the trigger.
That's indicative of a leg that's not working that well.
How's he going to deal with that, though, if Yorgan continues to beat on that front leg?
Shoot.
And Yorgan's looking for that big right
Start with the
hand.
hands, Yorgan. Boston, shoot. Start with the hands.
And look how calm Yorgan is.
Yorgan.
And that allows him to carry that cardio a little bit later in the fight, right? When you're tense and you're throwing everything hard and you're inexperienced a little bit, that can really cost you as the fight goes on. And Hardy has done well to this point, but you can see the difference in their posture.
Little more volume, maybe 1-2-1.
That left leg seems so vulnerable. The left leg of Hardy. Even when he's throwing those punches, DC, look how he locks that knee out. I think that left leg's in big trouble.
The Castro's not kicking anymore, though. For the last 2 minutes, he hasn't thrown one.
Get out of there.
Great first round.
Tonight's Corner Cam is brought to you by Body Armor Sports Drink. Superior hydration with no artificial flavors or dyes. Body Armor, the official sports drink of UFC. Grab one today at 7-Eleven.
Big air. Deep breaths. Water. Looking nice. You won that round. Good job. Big air. 2-1-1. Show him that you're light on the front foot. All that's landing is the low kick that he's doing, okay? And he's landing big overhands. So if you stay light on your front foot.
Let's look at the power behind this low kick. I mean, come on. All 250 pounds with Yorgan De Castro with perfect technique. Slams that shin into Greg Hardy's thigh over and over again. Boom, right behind the knee. Nasty.
And look at how Hardy defends, right? He doesn't turn into it. He doesn't try to check it. He just kind of reaches and tries to evade. So the more you throw those kicks, it doesn't seem like Greg understands how to defend them yet.
UFC 249, Ferguson versus Gaethje is brought to you by the official frozen meal of UFC, Never Just Eat, Devour. I remember the first time we sat down with Yorgan De Castro, DC, in Australia, I believe it was, and first thing he said, I'm not as emotional as Cormier, so maybe you got him back tonight a little bit.
Yeah, man, I mean, you know, he was like a fan before. Now,
yeah.
I talked to him this week in the hotel. Look at that, right? Hardy has no answer for those leg kicks. And he's much more comfortable.
That leg's in real trouble.
Beat up.
Oh, lands a good one of his own.
That was a nice kick.
Oh, my goodness. Yorgan De Castro's going for it there.
Pretty decent job defensively by Hardy to avoid damage from that flurry.
The difference really is the efficiency of the technique. I mean, Yorgan De Castro's throwing everything perfect. Everything is well schooled. And Hardy, I mean, we got to remember, folks, he's been fighting for 2 years.
Yeah, he hasn't been fighting long. And that's what I'm talking about with the adversity, right? The adversity of the beat-up leg. How's he deal with that?
It's shot. If you see him try to throw that right hand, see how he couldn't even turn into the punch?
Does he have the ability to go southpaw like more experienced guys would do when they get their leg beat up?
That left leg is really gone. And Yorgan, I think, realizes it. He's just waiting for his opening. A couple more chops at that leg.
Yeah, he needs to be kicking them. The Castro's waiting. Especially when Greg throws his jab. He really extends himself completely on the jab. That's when you time that outside leg kick.
He was looking for it right there.
DoorDash, while the front doors may be closed, many restaurants are still open for delivery.
Watch Greg Hardy when he throws his jab, how much weight he puts on his front leg. If he can time one of those outside kicks, man, it would be very damaging to Hardy.
Well, especially now because as he's throwing it, the leg's not functioning correctly, so it's locking up.
Hardy's first MMA training session was November of 2016, so essentially he's just 3 years in.
That's crazy. And only 2 years in the UFC.
High guard.
You see Yorgan checking the inside kick, right? Hardy hasn't shown. Hardy keeps trying to back out of the kicking range, and that's why the Castro is catching him with the edge of his foot if he starts to get away from him. And when that leg is that beat up, even if you're only catching the front, it still hurts. Oh, now he's checked down.
He's pulling away. He recognizes that that's a huge issue.
Nice head movement by Hardy, and Castro appeared to hurt his foot when Hardy checked that leg kick, so we'll keep an eye on that right wheel of Castro.
He was short. He tried, nothing hurts worse than when you're short on a leg kick, when you barely miss, but you hit the tip of your foot or your toes. It's the worst feeling in the world.
Right on that knee.
Mango or suitcase? Mango or suitcase? Get your tempo.
2 minutes, Greg. 2 minutes. Little fake. Too high. Good job.
Hardy's doing a good job of fighting behind that jab. Lands his own outside leg kick.
Powerful leg kick by Hardy.
Great job by Greg Hardy.
Body Armor, the official sports drink of UFC. Grab one today at 7-Eleven.
High guard.
Well, Hardy came out super aggressive in round 3 against Alexander Volkov his last time out. We'll see if we get there tonight. Under 90 seconds, round 2.
Castro's really taking this part of the round off.
Yeah, he's not doing much, and I don't understand why.
Well, I think you might be right, John. He might have hurt his foot. Something's going on. Or he's waiting for that perfect opening.
After the hands. Yorgan, after the hands, come in.
You hear Yorgan's coaches yelling, you got to throw hands first, and then those kicks will present themselves again. Greg Hardy's doing way more than Yorgan Castro in terms of activity.
Yeah, Castro's not doing anything.
I don't think he's throwing a punch in 2.5 minutes.
He's just moving.
In, out, fake him. That's it, big man. 2 jabs, 2 effective. Get out.
Hardy had some real tough weight cuts early on in his career. Almost chose a different path. Seems to have now mastered that as he lands the jab there a moment ago.
And his cardio looks great, John.
Yeah,
I mean, he's moving so well. Late into the second round, doesn't look like he's fatiguing at all.
I'll tell you what, he's got some real power behind his leg kick as well. If Castro just keeps standing there and posing, Hardy could do some damage to that left leg of Castro's.
Hands up, high guard.
Castro biting on every Hardy feint. 2 rounds down.
Right here, look at this. Yorgan goes to throw his outside leg kick, and he misses, right? He misses short. His toes hit Greg Hardy's shin, and he has to take that bad step. And that's good for Greg Hardy, right? Greg Hardy seeing that he hurt Yorgan Castro. There's nothing worse than throwing a leg kick, and the guy barely gets out of the way when you have on those shoes. It's terrible.
Low kicks, and you need to follow him in. Feint this, here. Look at me. Look at me. Feint this, here. You got it? See what I'm saying?
In, breathe. Out, big breath. Big breath.
Yorgan, start feint. Couple more low kicks, feint it. Yorgan, couple more low kicks. Look at me.
Let's go.
Yorgan, couple more. Yorgan, couple more low kicks.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Second toe.
You got to fight. You got to fight.
Round 3 is brought to you by P3, the official protein snack of UFC.
Let's fight.
Oh, big right hand by Hardy.
Get in there!
And Castro doesn't look fatigued, so that's why I was so surprised at the end of the second round, the activity level.
Yeah, I think he hurt his foot. And there it is.
Beautiful, don't throw wild.
There's a beautiful low kick.
My Zuma, don't throw wild. Come on, Yorgan. Pop French. Pop French.
We'll see if he throws that right foot again.
Pop French.
Well, he just threw it there.
Now he's beating him up from the inside, which is smart, right? Because Hardy's just trying to slide out of the way.
After that, shoot great. Volume. Your condition. Hit high guard. High guard. High guard. High guard.
Nice inside kick by Hardy there.
Shoot.
Keep that inside kick in box. Left
Shoot.
leg
Nice
in
from the
box,
back.
Greg.
4 minutes to go.
Left leg in box. Awareness of kicks.
Where's the mango?
Bump
Shoot.
your eyebrow, Greg. Looking good, man.
Oh, see what I'm saying? That
Another
one
big
buckled
kick.
him. Greg Hardy has some serious power behind that leg kick. If he was more active with it, I think he could put a hurting on Yorgan De Castro's left leg.
That right leg kick of Greg Hardy is a big weapon for him.
Huge.
Because he's got De Castro biting on his feint.
Yeah.
So because when he feints, De Castro reacts, he can throw that outside leg kick. He's got to feint the hands and then throw his kicks.
Well, clearly the De Castro game plan has been altered. There's that right hand, right foot, I should say.
Pop French. Mine. Mine. Yorgan, mine. Pop French. Pop French. Yorgan, pop French.
We've had some very questionable decisions tonight. If I was a fighter, I would not be interested in letting this go to the judges.
And I got to be honest, if you're Yorgan De Castro and this fight doesn't go your way, it's on you because the activity level was so low. You know, he just didn't put out enough effort in this fight.
Yes.
And he does not look fatigued, and he's fighting his type of fight. Greg Hardy isn't trying to wrestle him, clinch him. He's trying to stand with him, and he is the more polished striker, you can tell. But right now, Greg Hardy, to his credit, is out hustling him.
De Castro slips. First time either man has hit the canvas. We'll see if Hardy allows him back up.
Watch the up kick.
Look, he's punching him in the leg.
Yorgan, don't let him grab your right leg. Don't let him grab your right leg. Get up! Get up! Get up!
You have 2 minutes. Keep running the clock. Little kick.
Get up, Yorgan, get up!
To yourself. You're scoring.
Hardy staying engaged enough here. Less than 2 minutes now to go.
It's interesting, different referees' approaches, because we were talking earlier that Keith Peterson was saying either engage or let him up in an earlier fight, but now you see, you know, Herb Dean's like, fight. Just, let's see how this plays out. I like this. I like this.
Don't let him grab those feet, Yorgan.
De Castro's coach is begging him to get up in that Boston accent, DC.
Yeah, why is he not getting up?
You need to work.
All right, big man.
Yorgan, pop French! More activity, Yorgan, more activity!
Yeah, it's the activity. Here's coaches. It's the activity of De Castro
More activity.
that's
Pop
costing him
French.
right now.
Right now, mix it up. Detroit, Boston, let's go. Get in there. Return. You got combos of your own. Return.
Let's go.
And finish
Good.
with the
Keep
base.
that fake going and let him walk into it.
De Castro really idling over these final 2 rounds.
I mean, it would be interesting to see the total strikes between these two in this fight.
Yeah, we don't
Just
have
these
that
throws.
stat right here.
The guys in the truck do, though. They can put up a little graphic on the bottom.
Can you hook us up, guys?
Yeah, let us see how many strikes De Castro's actually thrown.
No stats tonight, boys.
Nobody has it. Wow.
Yorgan, high guard.
With them.
Circle the other way.
Yep.
Circle the other way.
You're ready for that. In and out. Light on your feet, Greg.
Yorgan, 30 seconds, Yorgan. Let's go.
30 seconds.
Detroit, come on, Detroit.
Hardy's body language certainly a whole lot better than Yorgan De Castro's here in this 3rd and final round.
Well, he's pushing the action.
Greg Hardy won this fight, John.
Yeah.
I mean, he won this fight with his activity.
He's making it happen.
Get on him.
Just going forward, moving, putting stuff out there. You know, Yorgan isn't doing anything. Yorgan's taking pictures.
10 seconds, Yorgan. Come on.
He started early in the fight, very aggressive, and then mid-second round, he shut it down. So maybe he hurt himself bad on the foot, Joe, like you said. Maybe he hurt his foot bad, and he couldn't fight.
But he can move around. I mean, the way you're seeing him.
Yep, look at that. He's pointing to it.
Pointing to it. Probably did break a toe.
Nice display of respect and sportsmanship there. Greg Hardy and Yorgan De Castro go the distance. This fight replay brought to you by Nemiroff, bold characters since 1872.
And here early on, Yorgan Castro was landing these beautiful leg kicks. Look at this. Perfect technique, digs in, and really had Greg Hardy's leg in a lot of trouble. But then Greg Hardy landed some very powerful leg kicks of his own. And Yorgan Castro, right here is where he hurt his foot. And from then, it was a whole lot of low activity. This is a good right hand from Hardy. And a good right hand to the body there. Very interested to see how this is scored.
See you again, yeah? That next motherfucker, let's do this shit again, bro. I like this shit. Yes, sir.
For historically low rates, refinance your mortgage at rate.com with guaranteed rate. Safe and simple, all digital mortgage. Visit rate.com now. Bruce Buffer to make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for decision. All 3 judges score this contest 30-27 for the winner by unanimous decision, Greg, Prince of War, Hardy.
All right, I'm here with the winner, Greg Hardy. Greg, you made some adjustments, some big adjustments. Seems like early on in the fight, he was catching you with a lot of those heavy leg kicks. How much did that affect your movement?
Big time, man. You know, and thank God for not having the crowd. Shout out to DC. I heard him tell me to check. I need to figure out how to check it. So I started trying to check him, and game changer.
You have had a wild ride. In 2 years, you've gone from a guy who has his first MMA fight to a guy who's fighting guys like Volkov, who's a world champion in other divisions. What has this been like for you, and how do you feel about this victory?
Like going to Disney World, man. It's been a roller coaster like none other, baby. Only next appropriate stop is the Joe Rogan Show.
All right, let's do it. Yeah. Well, congratulations to you, sir. Look forward to seeing you again. Greg Hardy, ladies and gentlemen.